Speaking of splitting, Tatamotors is not doing very well right now. The stock is down roughly 40% from its peak. It's basically giving Ambani vibes. No, the other one. But its peers, Mahindra, Maruti, are doing fine. It's like being the only one in the family doing a startup, while the rest of the cousins are making money.
Most people think it's about the economy or the government slowing down infrastructure spending. And while that's true, it's only a tiny part of the story.
The real problem is in that part of the world, where the best thing you can think of is the food. To understand why this giant is stumbling, we have to look at three things: the history of a British icon, a rebranding disaster that looks like it was outsourced by minions, and the brutal reality of the global economy. Grab your chai, or something stronger. Let's find out. First, we need a reality check. When you think of Tata Motors, you think of Ratan Tata, Nexon, Punch, Made in India, 5-star rating, panel gaps, and your mechanic best friend. But if you look at the financials, domestic cars are basically a side hustle. Jaguar and Land Rover isn't just a part of the company, it is the company. It contributes 72% of the total revenue and a massive 79% of the operating profits. And the Indian car business that we see everywhere, that entire division is just 11% of the revenue. So if you think you are just buying the Indian growth story, you'd be wrong. Tata Motors is now more global than any of its peers. This brings us to the controversy. You've probably seen the internet roasting Jaguar for their new copy-nothing rebranding. They deleted the Jaguar logo. They used models that look like Power Rangers without the power. But here's the thing. If you actually look at history, Jaguar has never had a proper identity. If you ask them about their star sign, they'll tick all of the above and LGBTQ Ultra Pro Max. Let's look at the timeline. 1922, William Walmsley and William Lyons founded the company as the Swallow Sidecar Company. They made sidecars for motorcycles. 1930s, they rebrand to SS Cars. Their strategy was budget Bentleys, basically looking rich on a budget. 1945, World War II ends. Suddenly, having a company named SS wasn't such a great marketing move. So, to avoid being called racist, they rebranded to Jaguar. 1950s. They built the XK120 and dominated racing. They won Le Mans with the C-Type and D-Type. But then came 1955, the Le Mans disaster, the deadliest crash in motorsport history. Jaguar went from kings of the track to pulling out of racing entirely. 1961, the E-Type. Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car ever made. This was the peak. Ferrari's response to the E-Type was the 250 GTO. 1968, the dark era. Jaguar got merged into British Leyland. This was a government-backed mega conglomerate that was basically a graveyard for British manufacturing. They cost-cut the soul out of the car. Reliability fell off a cliff. The only thing consistent about a Jaguar in this era was that it would break down. 1990. Then Ford swooped in to save them. Ford bought Jaguar for $2.5 billion. They tried to target the youth with the Baby Jag, the X-Type. But consumers aren't stupid. It was just a Ford Mondeo wearing a tuxedo. Ford spent billions trying to fix the factory glitches, failed, and eventually sold it to Tata for $2.3 billion. And here's the problem. Jaguar never stuck with one value long enough for it to stick with us. They pressed the reboot button so many times, I'm pretty sure the button feels violated. Now you might ask, okay, Jaguar is a mess, but they still have Land Rover. Range Rovers are printed money, right? But even Land Rover status was an accident. Back in the 60s, they looked at America and saw the Ford Bronco and Jeep Wagoneer. They got jealous. They wanted a piece of that action. The original Land Rover was essentially a tractor with seats. It was built strictly for farmers to plow fields and haul livestock. When the Range Rover launched in 1970, it wasn't luxury. It had plastic interiors so you could wash the mud out with a hose. It was built for farmers who wanted to look fancy. But a weird thing happened. The farmers didn't buy them. Instead, wealthy city bankers bought them. The design was so acclaimed, it became the first car ever displayed in the Louvre Museum in Paris. They realized they had accidentally invented the luxury SUV. So, they pivoted. They launched the Monteverde Special Editions and shoved in leather, wood trim, and air conditioning. But here is the catch. Just like Jaguar, Land Rover has been passed around like a hot potato. BMW bought them in 1994. Then Ford bought them. Then Tata. Germans, Americans, Indians, everyone has tried to fix the reliability. But here is the problem in 2025. Heritage doesn't fix glitches. This brings us to the second major reason Tata Motors is struggling: the competition sandwich. JLR is stuck in the middle. On one side, you have the Germans. Mercedes, BMW, Audi. They have the class. They have the engineering consistency. On the other side, you have the Chinese EVs. BYD, XPeng, Xiaomi. They have tech, batteries, labor, and a government that actually listens. In China, you are either buying an EV or building one. JLR and Western car brands are losing ground in China, and it's not just about competition, it's the system. The Chinese government heavily subsidizes local EVs and enforces a strict dual credit system. Simply put, if foreign brands make too many petrol cars, they have to buy EV credits directly from their Chinese rivals just to stay in business. On the other hand, our government is breaking the petrol car engines, so we switch to EVs anyway. So what is Tata Motors doing? They're pulling a massive demerger move. Tata Motors is splitting into two: commercial vehicles and passenger vehicles. Why? To fix the conglomerate discount. Right now, investors are confused. Conservative investors want the stable trucks. Risk junkies want the EV startup. Currently, it's a buy one, get one free deal that nobody actually wants. By splitting, the market can finally value the truck business like a stable infrastructure company and the car business like a high-growth tech stock. But this comes with risks that nobody talks about on Twitter. Risk 1: double costs. Two companies mean two CEOs, two CFOs, and two boards. That's 200 crore rupees spent just so 5 more guys can update their LinkedIn bio to visionary leader. Risk 2: the safety net is gone. The truck business prints cash. The car business burns cash on EV research. Previously, the cars had the trucks for backup, but in a demerger, that's gone. Risk 3: the liability dump. Sometimes a demerger isn't about independence. It's about kicking the broke kid out of the house. General Motors did this with Delphi in 1999. They spun off their parts division to clean their own books. Without GM's safety net, Delphi went bankrupt in 6 years. And we all know how the Ambani split story went. On the other hand, there are very successful demergers like Mercedes-Benz and Daimler Truck in 2021, and Fiat SPA and Fiat Industrial in 2011. Now, check out this video if you want to know why the sudden change in Mahindra's designs.